This is a help video for a piece in this book, Grade 2, Trinity, 2020 to 23. And the piece is called Le Paon. It's on page 11, and Le Paon is French for the peacock. I'm going to start off by playing all the way through, but missing out the repeat. So I'm going on to the second time bar instead of playing the first time bar. Now this piece uses a technique that's used in a lot of guitar music called broken chords. When you see notes going up and down like this in a pattern, those are usually broken chords, and they're a little bit like arpeggios. We use it a lot on the guitar because it works so well and it gives you a harmony. There are two things that we need to think about when we're playing broken chords. One is your right hand. There's a particular technique to that I'll show you. The other is to do with your left hand. You are going to need to use more than one finger at a time very often. So you'll need to put a finger down there, keep that down, put another finger down, take the other finger off. So there are left-hand finger patterns where you need to leave fingers down while you're moving other fingers around. Now this is your right-hand technique. On the right hand for the guitar, we generally use 4 of the digits. Thumb, which we refer to as P. Your index finger is I, middle finger is M, third finger is A. So if you have a pattern, as it says on your music, P, I, M, A, M, I, then it goes like this, P, I, M, A, M, I, and those fingers are, in the first line, playing these strings. Thumb on string 4, first finger on string 3, second finger on string 2, third finger on string 1. Start off by going thumb, first, second, third. P, I, M, A. And then try it the other way round. I, M, I, P. And then look at the first bar, because that gives you the pattern that you're really going to use for most of this piece. P, I, M, A, M, I, P. Notice that I'm not playing rest stroke. Rest stroke is when you play a string and land on the next string. With this, we're playing free stroke because it allows the strings to keep on sounding after you've played them. So instead of allowing your finger to rest on the next string, which is rest stroke, you're allowing it to go into the air, which is free stroke. practice that for a little while until you get used to using those fingers on those strings. Then we need to look at the first 3 bars, which uses that pattern, that P-I-M-A-M-I-P pattern, strings 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your first bar right there. The second bar is exactly the same, but you add a 4th string E to it. So it will go like that. And then bar 3 is the same as bar 1. So you will go aim to make it nice and smooth and even and have all of your notes ringing on after you've played them. That will mean that you're playing a nice successful free stroke. The last 4 notes on line 1 are bass notes C, B, A and G, and all of those you will play them with your thumb on your right hand, because that is the digit that is near those strings. And now let's do the whole first line. 1, 2, 3, 4. The second line uses the same finger pattern, the same P-I-M-A-M-I-P finger pattern, but your thumb, P, has moved on to string 5 now. It's a good idea to practice just doing that without involving your left hand, to make sure that your right hand is comfortable with that. Now we come to the part where your left hand needs to leave a finger planted in one place while other fingers hop up and down. What you're going to do is put your finger on C. This is your first bar. It will go like that. And then for the next bar, you leave that finger on C and put another finger, second finger most likely, onto B on the 5th string. And then you lift it. So here are your first 3 bars on the second line. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last bar, again, you've got 4 bass notes that you'll play with your thumb. G, A, B and C. So here is your second line all the way through. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The third line is possibly the trickiest. You're still using that P-I-M-A-M-I-P pattern for your right hand. With your left hand, the finger that you need to keep planted will be on D. I'm using my little finger for that. You may find after a bit of practice that that actually works very well. It allows you to use fingers 1 and 2 for the bass notes, or fingers 2 and 3 for the bass notes, without interfering too much with that finger. Let's start off with that first bar. You'll have your D planted there and a finger on B on string 5. It's the same pattern with your right hand. And then you're going to move your bass note finger to C on string 5, but that little finger, or whichever finger it is, stays planted on string 2. And here's the second bar. And then bar 3, again, is the same as bar 1. So let's do the first 3 bars on line 3. Make sure your fingers are in the right place. Make sure your D is planted there. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the 4th bar of that line, you can let go of that D because that note has changed to a C. So you'll switch that finger for that one. The bass note is an open A, but you may notice there's an extra note on the end of that bar. So it goes leading into the C that starts the 4th line. You may like, when you're practicing it, to lead up to that C. Otherwise it feels like it's been cut off and you can end up with a bit of an artificial gap in that place. So here is the entire 3rd line. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we come to the 4th line. You're starting on that C and the D is back on string 2. So the first bar of the 4th line is the same as the second bar of the 3rd line. After you've played that, whether you're going on to the first time bar or the second time bar, this is what your finger will do. It will hop up to string 6 and the note you've got there is a G. Now if you're going on to the second time bar to finish with, you'll need a G, high G, and you may want to use middle finger and little finger. It doesn't matter. As long as you can get those 2 notes and it goes G, D, G, B, G. You don't have to play another note or a chord at the end. They're all tied onto that last chord. The little I motif is a pause. So get those notes. Make sure that they're all carrying on. You can hear them all sounding together at the end, and pause that just so that it sounds nice. Your right hand has changed its pattern now. You're playing string 6 and string 4 with your thumb, and then I, M, A on the treble strings. Now if you want to play the first time bar, you also hop your thumb across to that G, and it goes like this. Before going back to the beginning. You'll notice that one of the notes you don't need to play as a separate note. That G is tied. So you only need to play it once when you get to the end of that second bar. And that's where it's tied. And it leads straight back into the beginning. Now I'm going to play it all the way through. I'm going to do it with the repeat this time. At the beginning, after MP, it says reprise quasi F est légèrement métallique. When you do the repeat, you do it a little bit louder and slightly more ponticello, more of a metallic sound on the repeat. Here we go. I'm going to count up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.